fire come alive, so cold before the storm, so dark before the dawn. Oh, I can see the fire in your eyes, in your eyes. Oh, I can see the fire in your eyes, in your eyes. I can see the fire in your eyes.
Wow.